What if fear is a map? What if, rather than being something to avoid, fear is a guide that leads us toward growth and understanding? In a world that often tells us to conquer fear, to push through it, or to pretend it doesn't exist, there lies a simple truth. Fear is not your enemy. It's not something you should shy away from, dismiss, or ignore. In fact, fear, when you understand it, can be one of your greatest allies. But how can we truly understand it, and what does it reveal about us? We live in a culture that glorifies strength and invulnerability, where showing fear is often seen as a weakness. Yet, fear is one of the most universal human experiences. We all feel it. Whether it's the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of the unknown, or even the fear of success, fear is present in our lives in countless ways. But what if fear isn't something to fear at all? What if, instead of running from it, we choose to sit with it, to listen to it, to see what it can teach us? What if fear isn't a threat, but a map that guides us to the places we need to go? Could the answers to your deepest struggles lie in understanding your fear? Let's start with the basics. Fear is an emotion designed to protect us. It's hardwired into our biology, an ancient mechanism that alerts us to danger. When faced with a threat, fear activates our fight-or-flight response, preparing us to act quickly. It's an essential survival tool that has kept humanity safe for millennia. Think about it. Without that jolt of fear telling our ancestors to run from a predator, we wouldn't be here today. However, in today's world, most of our fears aren't about life or death situations. They're emotional, psychological, and often misplaced. The fear of failure in a job interview, the fear of being judged by others, the fear of making a mistake. These fears may feel very real in the moment, but they are not the kind of danger that calls for immediate action. Instead, they are signs of things we need to examine, reflect on, and grow through. Take a moment right now to reflect on a fear you're currently facing. It could be big or small. Instead of your usual reaction, running from it or pushing it down, just pause. What could this fear be trying to tell you? What does it reveal about where you need to grow? The key to unlocking this puzzle is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our emotions in healthy ways. It's the capacity to be aware of what we feel and why we feel it, and, most importantly, to use that awareness to guide our actions, not be controlled by them. When you look at fear through the lens of emotional intelligence, it stops being a scary monster and becomes an opportunity for self-discovery. It allows us to recognize our triggers, to understand what lies beneath our anxiety, and to address the root causes of our fears. Fear often arises when we're faced with uncertainty or a lack of control. It's an emotion that invites us to examine what we value, what we're afraid to lose, and what we're unwilling to face. Think about the fear of public speaking. On the surface, it's about talking in front of people. But underneath, it might be a fear of being judged, of not being good enough, or of losing respect. By understanding that root cause, you can work on building self-confidence, not just on memorizing a speech. So, what would happen if you viewed fear as a signal, not a setback? Could your fears become stepping stones for personal growth? To build this kind of emotional intelligence, we must first learn to acknowledge our fears without judgment. We have to give ourselves permission to feel afraid without seeing it as a weakness. Fear is a deeply human experience, one that connects us to our shared vulnerability. It's part of what makes us real. But emotional intelligence is more than just recognizing fear. It's about learning how to respond to it. Instead of letting fear control you and make your world smaller, you can choose how you interact with it. You can acknowledge it, sit with it, and allow it to inform your decisions without dictating them. This process of awareness and choice is what empowers us. It's the difference between saying, "I'm too scared so I won't do it," and saying, "I feel scared, and that's okay. What's one small step I can take anyway?" When we become more emotionally intelligent, we begin to see that fear is not a roadblock but a tool. It's a tool for introspection, a tool for growth. Fear helps us identify what matters most to us. It reveals our boundaries, our desires, and the parts of our lives that need attention. By embracing our fear, we can gain clarity and insight into our deepest selves. So let me ask you, what is your relationship with fear? Do you resist it, or do you use it as a map to guide you? If you embrace fear as a tool for growth, you might be amazed at how it transforms your journey. One of the most powerful ways to start understanding your fear is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of staying present and fully aware of our thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations without judgment. When we approach fear mindfully, we observe it as it arises, without getting swept away by its intensity. We allow ourselves to feel the physical sensations, the racing heart, the tight chest, but we don't let the story in our head spiral out of control. In this way, we begin to break the cycle of fear that often traps us. Instead of reacting with panic or avoidance, mindfulness teaches us to respond thoughtfully. It helps us create a small space between the feeling of fear and our reaction to it. In that space lies our power to choose. Mindfulness helps us recognize that fear does not have to dominate our lives. It can be a passing emotion, something that rises and falls like the tides, not a permanent state that holds us captive. Imagine if fear no longer controlled you. What if you could face your fears calmly and with clarity, using them to propel you forward, instead of holding you back? In practicing mindfulness, we completely shift our relationship with fear. We stop seeing it as a sign of weakness and begin to see it as an opportunity for growth. We no longer have to run from our fears. Instead, we can face them head-on, with an open heart and an empowered mind. As we build our emotional intelligence, we learn that fear is not something to avoid, but something to understand. It's a natural, normal part of the human experience, and it absolutely does not have to hold us back from living a full and meaningful life. You can start today. The next time you feel that familiar twinge of fear, try this. Practice being present with it. Don't fight it. Just notice it. Where do you feel it in your body? What thoughts are attached to it? What is it trying to teach you? Just by doing this, you'll begin to realize that fear is not something to be ashamed of, but something to learn from. In conclusion, fear is not our enemy. It is a guide, a teacher, and a map that can lead us to deeper self-awareness and incredible personal growth. By building emotional intelligence, practicing mindfulness, and learning to respond to fear with clarity and curiosity, we can transform it from a source of distress into a powerful tool for empowerment. Fear is a natural part of being human. It will always be there in some form. But when we understand it, we can use it to fuel our journey, not hinder it. So the next time fear arises in your life, pause and ask yourself, what is this fear trying to teach me? And in that simple question, you may just find the answers you've been seeking all along. Thanks for watching. If this video resonated with you, give it a like and subscribe for more content on personal growth. See you in the next one.